Always helping each other, eh, boys? Always talking to each other, supporting each other all night long. When I coached in Hershey, I was the head coach and kind of overseeing the whole bench. So you're dealing with both the forwards and the defense. In junior, I've dealt with both. This is the first time at the pro level that I've dealt just with the defense, and it's been a learning curve for me as well. But at the same time, I kind of know what is expected. I kind of know the different systems. I know what Scott Arneal wants, and I'm just trying to make sure that we stay on top of all these different scenarios that present themselves, whether we're talking about one player individual on the defensive part of our game, or we're talking about the pair, or we're talking about how the pair communicates, or we're talking about the support system that we need from our forwards to help our defense, or we're talking about the communication between our goaltenders and our defense. So there's a lot of areas that have to be addressed, and we're always trying to, plug the dike kind of thing. All right, what's not happening now, or what haven't we worked on? And we're always trying to make sure we stay abreast of all these areas that we need to take care of for our players, and throw the reminders in there so that all of a sudden it becomes a little bit more automatic for them. And once it becomes automatic, then it's just play the game. So we're trying to get to the play the game part of our game.
This is especially true when you're playing a style of game that the majority of the teams you're facing do not.
If it's a tie between you and the forward going out to that guy up high, tell the forward to go. You'll stay there. Go, go, go! You have to understand that there's different systems that teams use. Some are very passive systems, and some systems are called receiving systems, where you're just taking and you're kind of cushioning all the attacks, and you're keeping the attacks to the outside. We're in a system where we have a very aggressive system. We want to close you off before you even get your attack going. We want to keep you away from the middle of the ice, and we want to pressure you right away as soon as you enter our zone. So being on your toes as opposed to being on your heels is a totally different strategy. And the reason why we want to do that is because we don't want to give the opponent too much time to move around in our zone, because the longer you stay in your zone, the more mistakes are going to happen. And so we're trying to take away their receivers. We're trying to close their space that they have the ability to work with, make it a real small contained area, and then really close on the opponent as fast as possible so we can get that counter going the opposite direction as soon as possible. And this kind of a system, being an aggressive system, is something that it takes a little bit more time for the players to understand, especially players that have been used to a passive system or a cushioning type of system where you're receiving and limiting the opponent's opportunities as far as on the attack, slowing the speed down or moving them from the middle. We're talking about completing a turnover, creating a turnover situation so that we're on the attack right away. We're kind of on the attack in the offensive zone, we're kind of on the attack in the neutral zone, and we want to get on the attack in the defensive zone as much as we can say that and still defend at the same time. And you just bounced it our way. Possession, good, crisp plays, possession. That's really important. We can't just throw pucks. Let him go. When he re-engages, now you got him on the edge. Okay. Otherwise, he's trying to drive you way away from the net.
Fine.
Okay? You know what you mean? You know what I mean by you following that? You follow that guy all the way to this side.
I try to find my guy because the 10 drives the net.
Yeah, but if the puck is behind the net, here, and your guy goes all the way here, there's got to be a release point. You're not going to take a guy all the way over there, because how's he going to get the puck, right? And then you're going to pass 2 or 3 more of your checks, your teammates, they'll take it. So you got to switch when that happens. If it's inside here, different story.
Since it isn't a system found across the league, it took a little longer for this team to embrace.
At the start it was a little bit dragging. We're kind of dragging them into it, and now they're getting it, and they're looking forward to doing it. And they know now when they haven't been as aggressive as we want them to be, There still is a time and place where you can do that. I mean, you have to have the support system being behind you, but for the most part, we're thinking in the right fashion now as opposed to what we were the first month of the season.
And just when it seemed like everyone was beginning to buy in, the lockout ended and the Wolves saw roster slots open up.
You've got players that are starting to get it, and you can tell and you sense it on the bench. You start hearing the comments that the players are discussing and the way that they're looking at the game and thinking about the game. You can tell that they're starting to get it. And now we have to kind of step back a little bit because of our new players that are in our system, and make sure we reintroduce a lot of the things that we've been, showing our existing players, and make sure the new players get it so they can fit right in, and we don't miss a beat stepping forward. We keep moving our team ahead, and that's really our goal as coaches, is to try to keep advancing our club so that we're a little bit ahead of the opponents, and either jumping on something that they're not doing, or making sure that that we're reacting the way that we need to react as a hockey club to take advantage of some of the opponent's weaknesses.
I told you guys, smart, crisp. All right, rest of the night, that's the way we got to play. All right.
But Mike has faith in his approach to this team.
I think it's twofold. I think with Scott, myself, and Nolan, we're always we always remember how we were as players, how we were treated as players, and how we responded to certain things. Different players are going to respond to different situations and different wordings or conversations or motivations. And our job as coaches is to find out what triggers our players best.
You guys okay? Keep it rolling here. That's the way to help each other. That's the way to get available for each other too. Good job.
The key, he says, is in the finish.
First of all, we're really happy to see the team score as many goals as possible. The other side of it is we're kind of looking at a couple different things with the offensive part of our game. We're looking at trying to create opportunities first. That's number one. I mean, are we getting those chances? And then the second part is finishing on those chances. So one thing is to get them. The other thing is to finish on them. And that's, you think it's one and the same, but it really isn't, because creating those opportunities is something that you're generating from your play, from your speed, from your skill, from your systems. And the finishing part comes down to the actual players that are in those positions on that ice, having that confidence to take a hard shot, take an accurate shot, make an accurate pass, making sure that we're not just satisfied with creating a chance. We're actually, pushing for the holy grail kind of thing, and to score with every one of those chances. And so it's a different mentality as opposed to creating a chance, because we have a lot of players in the league that can create, but we don't have a whole lot of players in our league that can finish. And the players that can finish are the players that usually are the ones that are leading the teams or leading the league, and the players that do get called up to the next level. So we want to make sure that our players, buy into the idea that we're still playing good hockey when we're creating, but we're giving ourselves the best chance to win when we're finishing.